there, so in this video I'm going to give you a sneak peek at the upcoming release of PC-DMIS 2018 R2. So at this point it is still in the preview stage, still in the development stage, but it should be released shortly. So I've narrowed it down to just about 4 features that I really like, and I'll just give you a quick demo of that. Starting with probe utilities, a lot of changes here, a lot of nice new enhancements I wanted to show you. So I just have a shortcut icon on my toolbar. I'll just open up probe utilities. So I'll build a new probe and I'll just go through some of the new enhancements. So let's say I wanted a 4x40 millimeter probe. So I'll just first name it, hit enter, and here we go. So empty connection 1 in this probe, I need to get my converter from the list, convert 30 mil to 8 mil thread. So I'll just build the probe start to finish, then I'll show you some of the new enhancements. So the first thing I wanted to show you is what's called the favorites option. So you can see it there, it's a little star. Put my mouse over it. So what that means is any of these items, if I use them commonly, which we will be using, a TP20 you'll always use most likely if you have this set up, the converter as well. So what we can do is select the item that we'll use repeatedly, right click and select favorite, and you can see the asterisk beside it in the build, in the probe description I should say. Again, do the same thing for the converter, right click, select favorite, and even the tip we can do as well. If this is a common tip we want to use in another build. So the way it works is when we build another probe, we can just quickly access these 3 items from the list instead of trying to go and sort through the many items in the library of available tools. Okay, so I'll build another probe and I'll show you how the favorites button works. So let's say we're going to do a say a 1x20. So I'll save the changes for the previous one, that's okay. Okay, so now I need that converter again. So what I'll do is instead of looking in the list, which is huge, I'll just hit the star or the favorites button, and now the drop down will only show 1. So it's a quick way to get that. I really like this change. So I'll keep the favorites button pressed, and because I need my TP20, guess what? It's the only item there in the favorites list that will fit in that converter. So now I need a 1x20. It's not in my favorites. I can do that later. So I'll need to actually look that one up. Not a big deal. So there it is there. So that's it. That's pretty cool. I love that option. The other option is the shopping cart option. So this is if you've broken a tip, you've damaged one, or you just want to get some extra ones. Just highlight the item, the tip 1x20 in this case, and add it to the cart, and you can view the cart here. So this is still in the development stage, but this is soon to be released, and it's a nice way to just itemize your purchases. It's kind of tied in with online shopping, which everyone does nowadays. So it's a nice way to get a grocery list of the tips that you need, and then that can be sent directly to your distributor. Okay, so I'm just going to cancel that. Okay, so sticking with probe utilities for the time being, let's say we were using this probe file and we need to add angles. So you'll notice this is quite a bit different than it has been in the past. It's a smaller box and it has this new drop-down menu. So the single selection of probe angles, this is where you would just enter the A-B angle. From grid, that's still available, but it's just hidden until we select it in the drop down. And multiple is when we do the range of selections. And the new one from CAD, so this is really cool. So what that means is if the CAD model is visible there, and let's say I wanted to measure this circle, I knew I needed to measure this board here on an angle. I didn't know what the angle was. If I just click on the surface, automatically populates that angle, and even the probe is shown at that angle as well. So in this case it's the A30B-90. So I really like that feature. So I can add that, and also if I needed to probe this area, I can actually just hold Shift and Control, and you can see how that angle is surface normal. So if I click on that, you can see it's slightly different than B-90, so it gives you the perfect angle to probe that surface. And then we can just add those to our list. So that's great. That's a brand new feature in 2018 R2, and it's one of my favorite. Okay, so let's go ahead and accept that probe file. So moving on, the next thing I want to show you is something called Quick Path. So I'll show you what that means. It's a button up here. So this is our path toolbar. We have path lines, regenerate path, path optimizer, and the new quick path. So mine is pressed already, so if I press it again it disables it, and then we enable it. So what this does is it will create path lines on the fly, like as we go, and I'll show you how that works. So I'll create 3 planes which I'll use for my alignment. So let's create a second plane, and so this is where the quick path comes into play. So I'll give this a single click, and you can see what it does is the auto wrist toggle is enabled when we press the quick path button. So that enables auto clearance moves, auto wrist toggle by default, included in that quick path algorithm. So now I can choose the wrist angle that it suggests. I can use an alternate angle if I want. In this case I'll stick with this one and just press OK. So the other thing it does is it will show the path lines from feature 1 to feature 2, which is awesome. So that actually looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and create another plane over here. So in this case I want it to be coplanar, so the 4 planes on the side considered as one. So the way to do that is hold Shift, double click, and first we'll select the tip angle it suggests or agree with it. I'll say yes, A90, B90, that's the one I want. And the next thing is this quick set feature opens. So this allows me to choose a strategy. So I can see the path lines are okay going to that side of the part. Next thing I'll do is choose my strategy. So I'm going to choose touch trigger user defined because I want it to be coplanar. So then that allows me to just click where I want. So I know the path is safe to get there, and now I have the number of hits I want. I'll just press the apply button and we're good to go. Okay, so that is the new quick path option. Auto wrist toggle, auto clearance moves, and path lines on the fly as we create the feature. So that's brand new, just soon to be released in 2018 R2. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is just a quick align of those 3 features. That little align trihedron with a lightning bolt. If we mouse over, you can see that's quick align. I'll just give that a click, and you can see in the edit window it does what I wanted it to do. Levels to Z+, rotates the front plane to Y-, and so forth, and sets my 3 origins. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do is show you some reporting and dimensioning changes. So what I want to do next in my program is to choose those 8 bolt circles. So I'll just highlight the surface which they lie on, hold down Shift, and you can see how it's selecting all of them. So this was actually introduced in the last version. This isn't brand new, but it's relatively new. Allows us to pick all 8 at once. Auto wrist toggle is still enabled, so I'm going to select yes to that, and it should show the path lines. So that's the new quick path used again. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's do a few dimensions. I'm going to do a location dimension on those 8 circles, XYZ and diameter, or sorry, XY and diameter. You just use the default tolerance, create those and close. So let's do a GD&T dimension now. So we have our 3 planes, primary, secondary, tertiary. It's going to go ahead and open position. So this is brand new. This is the new XactMeasure GD&T dialog box. So they've done a lot of work on this, and I really like what they've done. It's a lot simplified, a new look to it. It's actually smaller than the old one. So one of the big changes they've made here is how we enter our datum, how we define them. So I know those 8 circles are a reference to ABC. So what I'll do is hit the plus button. So there's that datum definition button is not there anymore. So now the datum definition dialog is bigger. Before we could only see 3 at a time, but now we can actually expand this to show a whole bunch of features. So it just makes it quicker. I know plain one is datum A, I'll create that. B and C accordingly. So that's our 3 datums defined. I'll close this box. So now what I can do is just hit the plus symbol, and it just fills them in alphabetical order, which in my case is what I wanted. If I didn't want that, I still have the option to change them as required. So the little drop down arrow still applies. So now I'll just go ahead and pick my features to be considered. 8 circles, adjust the tolerance. We still have these tabs here, reporting. This is replacing the advanced tab. It just has 2 different tabs now, the nominals tab. So it's a lot neater, a lot cleaner. Quickly change nominals if we need to, tolerances, reporting, analysis, area is still there, output. So this has always been there, but it's just a different look. It's just on a different tab now. So that's nice. So I really like that change. So let's go ahead and create that, and then we'll move on to the reporting page. Okay, so let's open up our report. I just have it saved here in a layout. So this looks about the same as before. A few different items have been added, which I'll show you right now. So first thing I'll show you is what's called the preview pane. So this is brand new. Really nice addition. So it just gives you the thumbnail views on the side with however many pages. So you can just quickly go jump to page 2, jump to page 3. Real nice addition. And you can have that open or closed. It's your option. Another new addition here is the ability to edit custom reports in this view here. So you first need to create one, which I've done ahead of time. My custom report is here. So when we open a custom report, they've added a new button on this toolbar called Edit Custom Report. So when you click that, it opens the editor, and we can do our editing right here. Yeah, so I'll just drag a dimension over here, move it around a bit. You can add leader lines. So this is the same as custom reporting before. It's just been incorporated and simplified a little bit into the report window. So once we make changes, we have the option to save, or to save as, or not to save at all. To exit this custom report, we just press the edit button again. So in this case, I'll say no here. And back to the default page. So then there's our default text only page. So the last thing I'll show you is the one of the most popular additions in this version is changing the report logo. So this is one of the most common questions we get at CMMXYZ when I do my training classes, tech support. How do you change the report logo? So now they've made it easier. You just simply right click and select change image. So no more editing the templates, going into different modes. We just click change image, browse for our company logo, hit open, and there it is. So real simple, and anybody can do that. It's a little more intuitive. Most software these days, you can just right click items and change or update images, text, like that. Okay, so that's about it. I just wanted to give you a few highlights of, and really a sneak peek of what's to come in the upcoming weeks. It's not yet been released. I downloaded the trial version, just to see what it's looking like, and I just wanted to share that with you. So I hope you enjoyed that, hope you got something out of that. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.